I need everybody to push back, please. Thank you. I need everybody to push back.
Welcome to the JJ Carrell Show. I just wanted to set the mood for what I'm going to talk about today. That video clip is the aftermath of a Afghani asylee. And I hate even saying asylee because we're going to get into this. This is all a lie. The terms that Biden used and Mayorkas gave to all these people in the media and the left fawn over and call them asylees and refugees. Understand this is an invasion. They're the enemy. They're vile and they're evil. They are the enemy ad nauseum. This was an Afghan asylee that worked for our CIA, went and killed at least one, point blank range, I believe, to her head. A young woman named Sarah, a National Guardsman, killed her, then shot another National Guardsman, Andrew Wolf. He's still, as of yesterday, in critical intensive care. They can't believe he's alive. Broad daylight, Washington, D.C. I'm talking about this for multitude of reasons. Maybe let me put it this way. This was Thanksgiving weekend. I was in Alabama, driving through Georgia, Alabama to visit family. Had an incredible time. Thursday morning, I wake up, I start to see the news, and my first reaction, as I'm watching everyone kind of lose it on social media, they're like pissed off, raging mad, rightfully so. I was incredibly indifferent. It didn't even register because I've expected it. Every time there's a rape or murder, pedophile, child sex trafficking, drug deals going wild, all that, I'm already been desensitized to it all. So I'm just like, okay, I just put it away in my head. Okay, there's another molestation or rape of a child. Another woman's been brutally assaulted and killed and raped, thrown in a ditch by illegal alien. Okay, there's another terrorist attack that was squashed. Kristi Noem found 6,000 people with false Social Security numbers that were on the terrorist watch list from President Biden. It's not that I don't care, is that I just have so desensitized throughout my career, and now that I'm just like, well, okay, well, I expected this to happen. Everyone else is shocked because they don't expect this to happen because they don't even know it's really happened. They have no idea the magnitude, the amount of people from the third world hellholes that have come to America. They have no idea. I do. So I sat back on Thanksgiving in between playing games and having dinner and watching football with my family. I started to notice something that really kind of caught me off guard, surprised me. First time I've been surprised in a long time. And I sat back and I watched one social media account, to mainstream media, to major podcasts, to major commentators and cable news, and Donald Trump become almost completely invested in this story. And then I realized, oh, they're not like you, and their fuse has been lit. America's fuse has been lit. How big will this explosion be? I don't know. Maybe this was just a minor explosion that's going to set off massive landmines across America. Let me tell you what I mean. This is not small to this woman's family, as their lives and the ripple effect throughout their lives is going to be forever. Nor will it be Mr. Wolf and his family. they're going, if he recovers, I'm sure he's going to have massive amount of trauma, massive amount of rehabilitation, and their lives are never going to be the same. But in the terms of what has transpired in the last several decades, the last 5 years more specifically under Joe Biden, this is maybe a middle-sized bomb, medium-sized bomb explosion. And the bigger bombs that are going to explode starting right now are going to accelerate, and they're going to be massive explosions. You go back to a timeline when this savage killed the young woman and potentially killed the second National Guardsman. Donald Trump comes out with a series of tweets and executive actions. He wants temporary protective status of Somalis removed. They're gone. They're all leaving. They have to go. Temporary protective status of Haitians. Temporary protective status on all Afghan refugees. He wants the USCIS, United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, to take up every case file and review it. And if they don't like it, then I want them ordered deported. Donald Trump now is being forced into a mass deportation effort. America's not going to tolerate this for whatever reason. I'll be very honest with you. I don't understand. I understand the average person seeing National Guard get killed. I understand that. I'm just telling you from a guy that's been doing this for 30 years. I have watched atrocity after atrocity after atrocity happen in America, and no one does a damn thing. So I'm surprised that if you would have told me, JG, try to describe something that's going to light the fuse of America, I don't think I would have chosen this. I would have said maybe there'd be uncovered child sex trafficking ring where they uncover, 1,000 dead kids in a house somewhere, or a apartment building turned into a sex brothel, or a major explosion by an Afghan insurgent terrorist that killed 1,000 people, children, and maybe. But I find it surprising and welcomed that America has been shaken awake. I have several not videos, but posts, because I think there needs to be faces attached to these names we're talking about. This first one, this is the Afghan. I'm going to butcher his name, and I don't really care. Rahman Ulala Lakawala. I don't even care. Yabba dabba doo. Scooby Doo. This is the piece of trash. 29 years old. He has a wife and 5 kids. Their wife and 5 kids are living in apartments you're paying for. You're paying for all the SNAP benefits, all the WIC, all the cash benefits. You're paying all the health care. You're paying for everything for this piece of trash, who was discovered that he worked for the CIA. He walked up to 2 National Guardsmen and shot him point blank. This piece of trash. Before you take that off the screen, Nick, I want you to understand that Joe Biden brought in over 80,000 of them after his Afghanistan withdrawal, and 120,000 in total that we know of. Tens of thousands, 100+ thousands of this savage were brought to America. After they go to the bathroom, they use a rock to clean themselves. That's who's in your society right now. That piece of trash. And why is he still alive? Can I ask that question? Why is he not killed right away? We saw the video of him. We have witnesses. We have everything we need. Why isn't there a swift trial? Like I'm talking about, here's the evidence. Everybody agree? Yep. Okay, kill him. Because we're too enlightened. And trust me, because we're enlightened, we're soft. And because we're soft, we become weak. and animals like that get in here and they kill us. Do you think those two National Guard had any idea when they woke up that morning that some dude on Thanksgiving was going to walk up and shoot them in the head? Honestly, we like to talk about in law enforcement, it's called code white. That's what normal America is in, code white. La la land, everyone's happy. They look at those unicorns and butterflies. I'm never in code white. I'm always looking around going, where is the piece of trash? Where is the piece of human garbage that is in my vicinity? It's not a good place to be. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I look at these people wandering this face of the earth in their drinking their lattes and thinking life is all great and no one's ever going to hurt them, as I watch the bad guys just walk right by them and they have no idea. And I'm just like, God, your number just has not been punched. That's all it is. It's just a matter of time. Your number is going to get punched because you have no idea what the hell's going on. None. But you had these two people, young man, young woman, volunteering. I know, and I read this, what she did, and I did this as a young agent. I didn't have any family. I was out in California. Didn't have Thanksgiving. Wasn't that big of a deal. Did I want to be home? Sure, I would love to be home with my family, but I started a new job. I was young. These other guys have wives and children and family in the area. They need to go. I'll work. Plus, I get double time. I'll work. And that's what this woman did. She went and worked, volunteered to work. What do you get when you get volunteered? Where you get shot in the head by a savage from a third world shithole. Why did we bring in millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people from shithole countries? Can somebody explain that to me? I'll explain it to you very quickly. It was intentional, purposeful, and strategic to change the United States of America. They brought in brown and black people from third world hellholes that wiped themselves with rocks because they knew that they would overtake us. And they are. They are. I want to put a picture, a face to Andrew Wolf. This man is in critical condition as of yesterday, as of the 29th. I don't know. His mom supposedly said that he's recovering. Some doctors said they have no idea how he's recovering. I don't know. Maybe I pray that his mother's right, but I'm assuming that we're somewhere in the middle, in between, somewhere in there. Do you think that man woke up Thanksgiving Day and thought, well, my ticket's punched today? Well, how do you think you're going to die? Well, I think some guy from Afghanistan that we're paid for all of his living expenses. He doesn't do a damn thing. He just has sex with his wife because she has 5 children and probably is pregnant with a couple more. Because why not? We're going to pay for it. And he's going to come and he's going to shoot me point blank. This comes to something else. Before I move on, Nick, you can take him off. That gentleman, Mr. Wolf, excuse me, I'm not trying to be cold about him. And pray very hard that he recovers. This is, before I move on to Sarah Beckstrom. I have been saying this, gosh, for a long time now. Policing is horrible. The way we police is absolutely inexcusable. And it is the manifestation of George Floyd, the Ferguson effect from Ferguson, Missouri. Policing has gotten sophomoric at best. Policing has become the training, the expectations, the understanding of what you are and are not supposed to allow happen. And I'm not saying this happened to Andrew or Sarah. I'm not saying this, okay? But there is a seismic shift from very, very good, strong policing to this very soft, very submissive former law enforcement, where we now allow people to get into our personal space, like right up in our personal space, and scream and yell at us, while other people throw bottles, bricks, pieces of concrete, rocks. And that, in the culture we live in today, the society that we live in, with all these third world people, with all of these non-Americans, all of these children of immigrants, of illegal immigrants, they don't fear law enforcement. And we have allowed this. When I grew up in law enforcement, no one was allowed in your personal space. No one was allowed in your personal space. And then somehow it's become okay for people to scream at police officers in their face, to push their chest and bump them, to hit them, to push them down. If you did that, if you walked even within the vicinity of my space, the whole game was on. You didn't do that, so no one did it. Even I, as a former law enforcement, I would never get in another law enforcement officer's space. But we do that every single day. I watch these videos every single day. I'm about to get brought back to ICE. I got called over Thanksgiving. Hey, you want this job? Yeah. I want to get back in the fight. I see my brothers and sisters. They need some help. And I have immense amount of experience. Yes, I'll take a job 4 levels below my senior leadership position just to get on the ground and help. I just want to help because I believe I can do a damn good job and I can be a leader. I'm not going to let anybody in my personal space. I'm not going to let Karens. I'm not going to let illegal aliens. I'm not going to let fat obese women and fat obese men and everyone in between with purple hair and nose rings to hit me. The moment you get in my personal space, I have to assume, per my training, that you are going to do me physical harm. There is no explanation other than that. And I will react accordingly. And I will bring my 6'3" frame, 230 pounds of working out every day, and then I will punish you. And every time somebody gets hit, you don't leave them on the ground. You cuff them up. They are under arrest. I don't know what's going on in law enforcement. They're having scuffles with people and they don't arrest them. You just had a physical, violent altercation. You used a level of force on the use of force continuum. You have to make an arrest. This is not playground. Just so my audience understands, this is the way that it works in law enforcement. If you and I are in a playground, we get a scuffle, we kind of go on our merry way. When you get into a physical altercation with law enforcement, you're arrested. There isn't, oh, go have a nice day. I'll see you around the corner. Maybe we'll engage again. No, you physically touched me, or you did something where I had to physically get a hold of you. You're not walking away, man. But this is the law enforcement that we have. And because we have this very impotent, gutless, cowardly law enforcement, the bad guys feel as if they can do whatever they want. Thus, somebody just walking up on the street corner of National Guard and shooting them. I want to have a face. I want to put a face to the name of Sarah Beckstrom. Hope I pronounced her name right. This is Sarah. Sarah is now dead. That beautiful young woman, I believe, is 20 years old. Please correct me if I'm wrong. My reports that I'm getting is 20 years old, shot in the face or the head. Do you know how young 21 years old is? Stop and think about when you were 20 years old. She's going to start her life. Her life is just starting. She's going to fall in love, get married, have some children. Her life is just beginning. It's not, I mean, even if she was like 60 years old, it'd still be a tragedy, right? But it's more of a tragedy that she's 20 years old. And I always want to have this conversation that this savage, Scooby-Doo, Yabba Dabba Doo, yeah, I'm making fun of his name. Their names are ridiculous. They're not American names. Get out of my country. He didn't kill this woman, and that's it. He killed her mom and her dad. If she has any siblings, they killed their lives. Their lives prior to Thanksgiving have been murdered. Whatever their life was like is dead. It's no longer. They have a new life, a life that is going to have pain and suffering forever. Her mother, if you're a parent, there's no way that their lives are not forever altered. They're done. This is a new life for them. They have to figure a way to get through the next 30, 40 years of life without their beautiful young daughter. And what about the man she was going to marry and the children they were going to have? And those children were going to get married and have children. And those children were going to have children. So that savage killed tens of lives. Never to be created. Just killed them. And I will guarantee you, this guy will just go to jail. He'll just go to jail. Maybe they'll give him a death penalty and it'll take 40 years to put him to death. He will be old, big gray beard, and then they'll finally kill him when he's like 85 years old. But nobody cares and no one's around anymore. That's how sick and perverted our law enforcement is today, our judicial system. America seems pissed off. Usually I write articles about this in my Substack or my website, and I end quite a few of my articles with the very simple question: have you had enough, America? Unbelievably, it feels as if America's had enough. America's just had enough. I'm going to show you some videos and pictures of these Afghan refugees that we boarded on C-130s and bigger planes and flew them into America by the tens of thousands. I've spoken to people that are like, not I read about it or I heard from a colleague. No, supervisors that work the intake of these planes and release these people into our society with no vetting. Zero vetting. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? 86,000 Afghans were brought to America after our illegitimate pullout of Bagram Air Force Base and Afghanistan. 86,000. And not one was formally vetted. Not one. What does formally vetted mean? Thorough background investigation. Interviews of people that know that individual. Interviewing that individual thoroughly, like interrogation. Biometric checks. Criminal background checks, both abroad and domestically. None of that was done. None. And when I get into this and tell you what it actually looked like, you are going to think I'm a liar. You are going to say there's no way in hell that what JJ's telling us is true. I wrote in my book, I talk about it. You know what's interesting? Someone asked me the other day, and I didn't even think about it because somebody kind of questioned something that I said or I wrote about in my book. And before I answered it, they stopped me and go, have you been sued yet from what you've written in your book and what you say in your podcast? And I said, not once. Why do you think so? Why do you think I haven't been? And he hesitated. I said, come on, be honest. Why haven't I been sued? I named names and I said, I've labeled allegations. Why? Well, because you must be right. That's correct. It's best-selling books. It's not like it just, I wrote it and stuck it in a cellar somewhere. Tens of thousands of people have written my books, read my books, quoted my books, used my books as citation, been on massive podcasts and national TV shows talking about it. Not once. Isn't that interesting? Not once. America's fuse has been lit. How big is this explosion going to be? That is the question right now. Best way for you to support me and my work is to go to my website, jjcarrell.com, or go to my Substack account, jjcarrell.substack.com. If you don't want to be a paid subscriber, fine. Just please spread the word. I have tons and tons and tons of free content, videos, daily videos, my shows, my writings, all my socials, everything is on there. And if you want to be a supporter and be a paid subscriber, then I have very, I think, special and unique content just for you that I do every single week, multiple times a week. Go to jjcarrell.com, jjcarrell.substack.com, and also please support the sponsors of my show. My first sponsor is sat123.com, sat123.com/JJ. Let's take this last shooting that we've been talking about for the last 25, 20, 30 minutes. Do you know what happens when there's a mass shooting or there's something significant of this nature? That all the cell phone carriers start to close down all traffic, all cell towers in those areas begin to get funneled into specific phones that are carried by law enforcement and first responders, and everyone else gets kind of jammed. What do you think happened then? Do you think that everyone in that area had cell coverage, or did their phones get jammed? I've been in these situations. You need to have connectability. What if this was bigger? What if this was bigger than one yabba dabba doo Scooby Doo killing somebody? What if it was 100? What if it was 1,000 across our nation, which I believe is coming? You want connectability. Sat123.com gives you that through sat phones. You're not relying on a cell tower. You're relying on satellites. Sat123.com/JJ. You order your sat phone. You get it delivered to you for free. Saves you $600 to $1,500 on the sat phone. And when you get a subscription, a monthly subscription for less than $100, it's like $95 a month for 150 minutes. For a little bit more, maybe like I think it's $10 more, then you can roll those minutes over. They're yours forever. But you have connectability. Mine is in my glove box in my car. My wife has another one. When my son gets to be able to get his driver permit, becomes actual driver's license, he will have one in his car because we're going to have connectability at all times. My son goes to school with a backpack that has a ballistic shield built in it. We traveled this Thanksgiving. We all three had ballistic backpacks. Why? Because I see things differently. And I understand the world that we live in. And I don't trust it. Not one little bit. Excuse me. Sat123.com/JJ. Sat123.com/JJ. Excuse me. That is my long COVID. And if anyone tells you that doesn't exist, they're a liar. They're a liar. Every couple of months, I struggle with my lungs because I had COVID so many times. I was given remdesivir as a way to kill me, I believe, by the evil Biden administration. I lived in South Dakota in the height of COVID. And President Biden and his administration stopped all treatments to red states. The only treatment was remdesivir. And remdesivir has a 50% fatality rate. Who was the lead scientist that conducted remdesivir testing in, I think, Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken? That guy's name was Anthony Fauci. And Anthony Fauci knew remdesivir had a over 50% fatality rate, and he still said the remedy for COVID is remdesivir. So when I tell you I still live with this, and it's painful, that's why I work out so much, trying to kill it from my body. When I say I hate Anthony Fauci, if I could kill him with my bare hands and then resurrect him again like Jesus Christ just in order to kill him again, I would do that. And everyone involved in it, everyone that did gain of function, everyone that released this into our world. And the thing that makes me the maddest, just on a personal note, if somebody purposely ran into me with their car and gave me massive amounts of damage, I would have recourse. That individual would go to jail. That individual would have to pay me pain and suffering. He would have to pay me punitive damages. And I'm a very strong, young 50-something, 56. But I have massive lung damage. I can feel it. When this COVID comes back, I can feel it. And millions of people like myself have no recourse. None. Nobody went to jail. Nobody's paying for my pain and suffering. No one's paying my punitive damages that I don't even know what's going to happen to me when I get older. The world is a sick, fallen place run by evil people. Maybe it's always been this way. I don't know. All I really can go off of what history, and even history I don't even trust. Because who writes history? The winners. And what do people that win, do you think they're all morally right, or how they won was morally justified? So they hide things. How did this happen? How did we get to this point where Afghans came over by the tens of thousands? How did we get to this point where the border was opened and 60 to 70% of everyone that crossed the border were single adult military-age men from the continent of Africa, the Middle East, Haiti, and Venezuela? How do we have this happen? I want you to listen to this interview with Tim Burkett. It's 2 minutes long on Fox News with the congressman from Tennessee. Listen to this.
Yeah. We've got a huge problem, and we know it. I mean, these folks are here, they're military age, and we've got to address it. And I don't, legislation, look, Congress can't get out of their own way. It just takes too long. And let's just be honest, both parties. I mean, and somebody asked me why we do that, Burchett, and I said, by tradition, of course. I mean, that's just our tradition, just to drag our heels. And the K Street lobbyists, look, one thing you got to remember, too, is who's funding these groups when they get here. Yeah. A lot of these groups are funded through NGOs. And NGOs, non-government organization, that's a poor name for them because you're American tax dollars. In Afghanistan alone, we know of at least 1,000 that are funded through American NGOs. And then if you add the United Nations, which is another disaster, it's a calamity waiting to happen. And I agree. These folks are everywhere. It needs to be, legislation is great, but we need an executive order, I think, to jump in on this thing in a hurry, because Congress will, again, wants to drag its feet. And then we'll be looking at another bright, shiny object down the street next week.
Yeah.
Congressman, in terms of where we go from here, is Congress going to launch any sort of investigation looking into Operation Allies Welcome going forward, and how things came to be this way in the United States?
Ma'am, I'm sure we'll launch several investigations, and we'll write somebody a very strong letter. Again, we've got a commander-in-chief that gets it, and Congress never gets it. It's just too drug out. The Republicans have a 3 or 4 person lead, and it's just, and we're one flu season away from really losing the republic. The Democratic Party is not your granddad's Democrats anymore. These people are Marxists. They're openly against our country. They hate our military. They hate our border patrol. They hate everything about it. And this is just, you can't. They won't even apologize. They won't even say they're sorry that this young lady lost her life in service to our great country. And yet, they're out touting this, and they're out promoting it. They're out promoting. They want people to be to disobey orders from their commander-in-chief. I mean, it's kind of a, they've crossed over that line, and there's no going back. And where's the outrage? You don't even see the outrage that from any of the major news sources outside of yourself of this situation. It is ridiculous. This poor lady was murdered by somebody who had no shape, form, or fashion should have been in our great country, but was allowed. And there's more just like him out there. I can guarantee you that.
He's right. Congress doesn't care. They're not going to do a damn thing. If Donald Trump is not tweeting about it and starting to do executive actions, there's no other politician that would have done a damn thing. I want you to understand the enormity of the situation. You have tens of millions of single adult military-age men from the countries that I just told you that hate us, that they're manifesting in groups in Dearborn, Michigan, in Texas, and all across Texas. We have the largest Muslim center now being built in Kansas. LA, mosques going up all over the place. We're losing. We're losing. And something that is pretty astounding is starting to happen. There is a significant outrage and almost like PSAs almost are coming out and saying, I want you to understand the type of people that are coming to our shores, not coming that are already here. They're not white people from Western European nations that share our values and our customs and believe in our documents and praise the same God and believe in Jesus. No. They're so backwards. They're so unlike us. They are highly unintelligent people with no skills, incredible inbreeding, IQs at the level of retardation. This is not being mean and spiteful. The vast majority of people coming from the Middle East and the continent of Africa are people coming to America that have below retardation IQ numbers. I'm going to show you a video of a gentleman that is having a debate as a Christian against a Muslim, and he just lays it out clean and direct and concise because of the marrying your first cousins and the massive incestuous inbreeding amongst Muslims, that their IQs are on average, listen to what I'm saying, are on average at the retarded level. That means the retardation level of IQ is 70 and below. They are hitting below the 70. That means that some of the places that he's going to show you are 65 their number of IQ number is 65. That means some people have IQs of 45. And some people have IQs of 85 to get you the average, the mean of 65. And we brought them in by the tens of millions. You don't have to like me. You can call me all of the horrible, vile names that you want to call me, as everyone does about a big, strong, intelligent white guy. But the facts are simply the facts. Why do we import our demise? I don't want any more brown and black people that have retarded level intelligence into my white Christian Western European nation, period. And I have a right to that because I own this country. Those people don't own this country. I own it. Watch this and be shocked. Be shocked at the amount of data and facts this man's going to say in 2.5 minutes. Watch this.
Now, let me get into my argument for why Christianity makes better societies than Islam, and it's pretty simple. Islamic societies breed an inbred population. Next slide, please. Muslim inbreeding has been occurring at a high rate for about 1,400 years since the early Islamic period, encompassing most of the land still occupied by Islam today. It spread from the 8th to the 15th century, moved into Persia, North Africa, South Asia, where it remains and has created some of the dumbest fucking human beings on planet Earth. The most common type of inbreeding is first cousin marriage. The rates of first cousin marriage in comparison to Christian nations is staggeringly high, even in comparison to regions occupied by Arab Christians. When a nation has both Christians and Muslims, Muslims are often double or higher than Christians. Example, India, Lebanon. Next slide, please. Muslim inbreeding. Oh, sorry about that. Pakistan at 65%. 65%, meaning more likely than not, you're having sex with your cousin, and if you're not, you're the weird one. Okay? For the low IQ members of MDD, that means these people are more likely than not having sex with their aunts or uncles' children. Saudi Arabia, 50 to 58%, with an average 76 IQ. Who would have thunk it? UAE, 54%, 82 IQ. The crown jewel of the Arab world, you are more likely than not to be banging your first cousin. Iran, 40%. 80 IQ. Yemen, 45%, 62.9 IQ. Qatar, 30%, 80.8 IQ. Now, we're going to continue, right? Oman, 36%, 78. Syria, 39%, 74 IQ. Turkey, 25%, 86 IQ. Jordan, 32%, 80 IQ. Egypt, 32%, 76 IQ. It goes on and on and on, and it just never gets better. Next slide, please. Thank you. Compared to Christian countries, let's take a look. Usually less than 1%. Now, I wonder why Christians build better societies, ladies and gentlemen.
Facts. Do you hear what that man just said? 50% and higher marrying first cousins. The mental retardation in terms of IQ is off the chart. And we brought all of them into our country. Now, let's make sure that we're very clear on this. Do you think the ones that were living in those countries with a higher IQ, like say 90 to 100, which is average, do you think they were escaping? Or do you think the vast majority of the retarded people of those countries came to America? Our government infused 30 million people into our nation from those countries in 4 years. There are 50 million illegal aliens in our country now, with 55 million on legal visas from those same countries. We have imported our demise. We have imported misery, stupidity at a level that is never seen before, a moral opposition to our Christian values, and we brought them in to further diminish the white population in America. And now America's finally waking up. And here's the really bad news, America. It's too late. How are you going to get these people out of your country? You're going to do it through compassion and statistics. You're going to do it through NGOs, religious organizations. It's going to have to come from the barrel of a gun. It's going to be physical contact, violence that America, you're just not ready to see. You don't have the stomach for it because you're soft and enlightened. There is no way coming out of this treason except bloodshed. I don't care how that sounds. I don't care how you take it. I don't want it to happen, but I know it in the depths of my soul. We are either going to die as a nation, meaning all the white Christians and black Christians are going to die. The demographics that have been in America the whole time, blacks and whites, 90% white, 10% black. Those demographics are gone. They've changed forever, disappeared. What's going to have to be done? I want you to listen to Kristi Noem as she talks about having to deport all these people. And understand this is not going to be without immense violence and pain.
Will you deport people with pending asylum claims, Madam Secretary?
We will if they should be. Absolutely. Yes, we are going to go through every single person that has a pending asylum claim, has an asylum claim here in this country. You know, one of the requirements of asylum is that you have to come in every single year for a checkup and an interview process and a revetting. And that is something that we're going to expedite and happen immediately with anyone who does have that asylum claim today, and ensure that they deserve to still be in this country, that they still have the purposes for which they claimed that asylum in place, and that they're not here being radicalized and perpetuating dangerous criminal activity against our Americans.
Will you?
And here's the problem with that, Ms. Noem, and I applaud what Donald Trump's doing and what Kristi Noem wants to do. Who's going to do it, ma'am? Let's just take Afghans, 86,000, 120,000. Okay, who's going to do that? Who's going to adjudicate one case file after another? You don't have anybody. It's USCIS. I know the people that are hired for USCIS. There's a lot of very good, intelligent people, but the vast majority are just data analysts, like not even analysts, just data inputters. They don't have any ability to do investigative tracking and identifying fraud. We just have to do a mass, you are all get the hell out of my country program. And we go and we find them and we get them the hell out of our country, period. There's so much that needs to change in our country. There's so much that needs to change in our law enforcement and our strategy. And I just don't know if we have the stones to do what needs to be done. That's truly the crossroads we're at. We'll talk about my next sponsor, patriotsmade.com, patriotsmade.com/JJ. For years, it would infuriate me that I was buying products from companies that hate me in big box stores, the companies that were funding the Black Lives Matter, the No Kings parades, and all the other activists that would literally try to hurt and kill law enforcement. So I came across this through Kim Yater, who I have on my show once a week, and it's patriotsmade.com. Well, what is that? It's a company that makes products made in America for Americans by Americans. And they have the same value system as you and I. Shocking. And they're going to give you products that cost less, and they're green. Meaning there's no mRNA in their food. There's no plastics in their food. There's no metals in their lotions and shampoos. No, over 400 products that are made for you. I don't go to box stores and then go shop here. I just shop here. And it costs less and I get more. patriotsmade.com/JJ. patriotsmade.com/JJ. Please support the sponsors that support our show or my show. Here's something that jumped out at me this week. And I want to play you a video of Donald Trump. And I want, before I play it, Nick, let me just set this up. This is a reporter that is questioning Trump about the shooting this Thanksgiving of the National Guardsmen and woman. And he's had it. He's pissed off. And I believe he is a reflection of America. Listen to this exchange. And this is not even normal under his normal terms. He's even ratcheted up even more. He's that frustrated. Go ahead and play this, Nick.
DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in.
Are you a stupid person? Yes. Not only are they stupid, they're corrupt. What was he holding up when he held this up? It was the inside of one of the major planes that brought in thousands of people. I want to show you this. Can you just please show me number 9, just so my audience has understanding when I tell this next story, if you will. Show up number 9. It's just an ex post of them in the plane. No, it's yep, right there. Look inside there. Look at that. That's one plane jammed with people from Afghanistan. One plane. You can take that off, Nick. And Nick, just be ready to bring that picture back up for me when I go. I'm going to tell this story because I think this story is more important than anything else I'm going to show you today. Okay. So I'm talking to a guy that's a supervisor on ICE. Okay. And he was charged with meeting several of these planes at Philadelphia International Airport. And they cut off a whole concourse just for intake. He says once one plane landed, we had 5 minutes to get aboard that plane. Can you show up that picture one more time, please, Nick, while I'm speaking on this? Just so I want my audience to understand. So just imagine me. I have to get on that plane. I got 5 minutes. 5 minutes, no more, to pick out anyone that has any resemblance to a soldier. Fatigues on, hairstyle, whatever. I have 5 minutes to go through that immense sea of humanity and pick out people that I don't think belong there. Then I'm done. Then he was done. And then they took those people, brought them into the concourse, and then enrolled them. Those people, look at how many people. That's one of just endless amounts of planes. You can take that picture off, Nick. Those people from Afghanistan and from everywhere else, he told me, it wasn't just from Afghanistan. And they would line up and put them in, enroll them into the immigration database. But they didn't know how to spell their names. They spoke so many different dialects, nobody could understand them. So they made up names. Made up names. But wait, it gets worse. Some of these people with the IQ of 25 don't use calendars like we do and like normal people in the first world. They use some kind of mythical calendar where many of them were 300 plus years old. So they had to guess their ages. So as you came through and I inputted you into our database, I gave you a new name and a new date of birth. And then I said to this guy incredulously, I was like, hey, hold on a second, man. This is absolutely absurd. He goes, I know. I said, okay, well, once you did that, where did you put them? Like, did you keep them and go through background checks? No. I said, what do you mean no? He said, no, they walked right out the door of the concourse and entered a waiting Uber, and then we never saw them again. Did you have an address? Maybe, maybe not. And if I did have it, they were never there. So we took 86,000 of those people I just showed you on that one plane. 86,000 of them. I did not interview them. I did not do a Interpol, FBI, Afghanistan check for criminal history. Nothing. Nothing. And I let 86,000 unvetted people into the United States of America. How kind and appreciative were those 86,000 Afghanis? Well, let me tell you how thankful they were to us for saving them. We put them on 8 different military bases, and they caused over $260 million in restorative maintenance. They were ripping toilets out of their places, destroying and ripping water fountains apart, showers, bed frames, dry walls, you name it. They cost us $300+ million to retrofit those military bases, and another $260 million in restorative damage cost. That was 86,000. We brought in 30 million in 4 years, with a significant percentage from Afghanistan, Yemen, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, Libya, Egypt, China, Russia, Venezuela, Haiti. I hope if you have watched my show that you can begin to formulate a picture, a big picture of what I have been saying for years. America has never, ever been this vulnerable. We saw this one gentleman, one animal, one savage, one retarded Afghan kill at least one National Guard and injure another. What are we going to do in America when the terror cells greenlight everyone? Instead of having one shooting on Thanksgiving, we have 700 across America. What do you think is going to happen to America? And how many of those killings is it going to be until Americans like me, by the millions, create our militias and go town by town by town and eradicate every single person that's not American and physically remove them from our nation? If you think that's far away, if you think that's not going to happen in your lifetime, then you are a fool. It is openly discussed now. Before, you couldn't even whisper it in your own house. Now it's openly discussed that these things are coming to a head. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and how bad is it going to be. You cannot allow 50 million people to invade your country and think everything's going to be okay. Because I'm here to tell you, everything is not going to be okay. It's just not going to be okay.